to Validate Me, which is a podcast where me and my dad show each other things that we love and hope that the other person will validate them.
Yeah, so some of our favorite fandoms, different media of different types. We've been through several different things so far, and so far it's actually been really fun. I'm really enjoying doing this. I'm having a blast with sharing. You shout out to my buddy Harold for who made that intro for us a while back for the YouTube channel, and we're resurrecting it. We had a really cool, if you've been watching the YouTube channel for a while, you probably remember the long intro for the videos, which we loved, but it was a little too long. We're actually working on making a shorter version. Not a shorter version of that, but a shorter new intro for the channel.
Yes. Which
I think is going to be super cool.
Woo.
Anyway, thanks Harold. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I love it. Every time I hear it, I love it.
Your buddy chum pal.
My buddy. That's right. Cool. So this was you assigning to me. So why don't you kick us off?
All right. So yes, I assigned him a few of the best episodes, in my personal opinion, from Monster Factory on Polygon with Griffin and Justin McElroy. And it's one of my favorite things. It was my first proper McElroy media involving two or more McElroys.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. So I've been listening to the Adventure Zone, Taz, as it's known, as the young kids call it. I've been listening to Taz and really loving it. I'm just finishing the Crystal one.
Crystal Kingdom?
Crystal Kingdom?
Yeah.
Or actually, I just finished the Crystal Kingdom, and they're in their interlude, so they're back on the moon base.
Nice.
Spoilers. And so they're between missions, and I'm about to launch whatever the next one is. It's really, but
Kravitz.
that was my first experience.
Do you have Kravitz or Loop yet?
Kravitz, definitely.
You have Kravitz! Yay! I'm proud. I don't know which I don't remember which arc he came in. But I'm very proud that you know who Kravitz is now.
Probably this one. We'll talk about it more later.
I'm proud of you.
This is not about that. All it is about the McElroys. Who this is
the McElboys.
McElvoys?
Boys.
Oh, McElboys. Whatever. I'm not going that far. So last year we were at ClamorCon.
Yeah.
And there was
this was so long ago.
Was it ClamorCon?
No.
It was Playlist. Playlist Live.
No.
Oh, was it NerdCon?
Yeah, it was NerdCon.
I don't know. We were at one of the conventions that we go to. And there was a meetup for McElroy fans.
Yes.
The McElroys weren't actually there. It was just hey, let's get together and talk about the fandom. And Presley was super, super psyched to go. And she's I have to go to this McElroy thing. And I was like, all right, I don't care. There's this other thing I want to go to, so I'll drop you off and I'll go to the McElroy, or I'll go to my thing and you go to the McElroy thing. And so they were just sitting in a big peace circle on the floor when I dropped her off, and she had her drawing materials, and so I dropped her.
Taco.
And I was right outside, right? And I had Presley talked about Taco all the time. I had no idea who Taco was, and so my mental image of who the McElroys were.
Oh, no.
I didn't know any of their content. I knew nothing about their content, right? I just, by looking at the people that were in the room for the McElroy meetup, and just for some reason the name, the McElroys, the brothers and stuff, it was not who the McElroys are.
What did you think?
I don't know. It was a much more, I want to say Dude Perfect-y group of guys.
No.
Not that they made Dude Perfect videos, but they looked vibe. More they were dudes.
They're not
They were dudes, and they are not dudes, right?
They're dogs.
They're more like me, which is awesome. They're like me's, and so
they're me's.
They're totally me's, right? I could not possibly relate to these guys more, right? And they're super super funny and smart and talented.
Yes.
I got to be ditto.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Hey, same hat.
Right. They're phenomenal, and I've only dipped a toe into the pool of content that is the Mackleverse.
Yeah, the Mackle. It sounds like you're talking about Macklemore.
And Macklemore. And so I've done Taz, and now I have done Monster Factory because Presley. I have done some. I have dipped my toe into Monster Factory because Presley introduced me to it, and I had heard her talk about Monster Factory before, and I had no idea that it was the same people.
It is.
Yeah, no clue. And they're doing it's even on a different thing. It's not part of
Polygon.
what's their
Maximum Fun.
Maximum Fun, which I got another one of my buddies is super obsessed with Maximum Fun, has the rocket tattoo now and like loves it. And he's been telling me forever,
I really want that.
You should check these guys out. You should check these guys out. And he even told me about the Taz podcast, and he was like, you should listen to this. There's this thing. And then I started listening to it because you told me to listen to it.
Yes.
And like these things started happening, and I was like, I called him up and I was like, dude, or I saw him at work one day or something, and I was like, dude, what was that podcast that you told me I should listen to with the D&D thing with all the craziness that was happening? And he's like, yeah, the Adventure Zone. I was like, oh my God, I'm listening to that now because Presley told me this. I'm sure he was thrilled that I finally started listening to it because you told me to listen to it.
Oh yeah, and just like a fair warning
for
the listeners to this podcast.
Yes.
I'm going to say about 50% of the content I will do on this podcast is going to be McElroy created because I am...
In the short term?
Yeah. Well,
I'm actually totally cool with that because I'm really enjoying their content. I will throw out a caveat that if you're thinking about going and checking out Monster Factory, which Presley did not throw out this caveat last time, it is a little not safe for work.
Starts the video with this video is not safe for work.
There's heaping mounds of profanity.
Yeah,
and even in the last one that I listened to left Justin wondering what comes after explicit in the Apple podcast rating system. He was afraid they were going to have to try and figure out what's the above explicit rating.
It's them, the McElroy.
So yeah, be prepared. They're pretty
loose
with their profanity.
There's a lot of profanity. There's a lot of inappropriate jokes. It's right up my alley.
Yeah, no, I laughed out loud. I listened to one of these. I started watching these, and so these are YouTube videos too, by the way.
Yes.
And we will actually talk about Monster Factory eventually. I started watching these while you were on the set of the student film that you did, right? And so it was me and a bunch of, not all, but a bunch of stage moms. Just picture in your head a bunch of stage moms. That's not entirely accurate picture of what was going on there. But just picture it's like me and a bunch of stage moms. And we're in this, Presley was shooting in a school, so we were just in a classroom in this like private Catholic school.
Yeah.
And so I just went in and put on my headphones and fired up my laptop. And I needed to take my notes and watch the stuff and do my homework, which is awesome. This is my homework.
Yeah.
I had to do my homework and watch Monster Factory. And I just started laughing, like out loud. And like not just like giggling. I don't giggle a lot, but not just like a little like snicker. Let's do snicker instead of giggle. So I didn't snicker. I was like belly laughing, like to the point where I was afraid I was going to interrupt the filming that was happening in the next classroom because there were some things that happened in this that were just outrageously funny. Like these guys are super
very
awesome.
Funny.
Okay, so of that. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, go ahead.
It was like while you were doing that, like if I was in the waiting room, I would just like turn over and like be able to approximately guess where you were.
There was lots of Presley. Once she found out I was watching them, there was lots of questions about where I was and what I was watching.
Yes.
Okay, so having said all of that, why don't you actually tell us what Monster Factory is?
All right.
And then I'll tell you what I thought it was before.
Oh my God!
Before
I
watched it. Yeah.
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
Monster Factory is a series on the Polygon Game Review YouTube channel, starring Griffin and Justin McElroy.
So that would be Ditto and Taco.
Juice.
Did you look up Juice? Is that what it was?
Yes, it is officially Juice.
I knew it was another J thing.
Juice and
He'll forever be Taco to me.
Juice from 17776. He's here.
I like Ditto. I love the nickname Ditto. I think
it's a good nickname.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And yes, I relate very heavily to Griffin, even though I am the older sibling. I relate to Griffin a lot. Anyway.
All right. Juice and Taco. Or not Juice and Taco. The same person. Ditto and Taco.
Ditto and Taco.
And what do they do?
And they play with the character creation sliders on various video games to make the monsters... I cannot describe what they do without swearing. I cannot. I can't. They putz with it very much.
Yes.
It's bad, nasty.
Their goal
beautiful.
Largely is to like bork the system, right?
Yeah.
Like let's see just how jacked up a character this system will let me create.
Oh my God, yeah. And in one of the videos...
Sometimes they try and actually recreate someone. They use a theme.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of the videos they kind of come up with a theme and they want to create, like Bart Simpson was one of the ones that we'll talk about, I think.
Yeah.
And Shrek.
Garfield.
Like they're trying to create like something approximating this one other thing.
But they're not doing... No, they're not. They're just calling it Shrek.
Hashtag just like Bart.
Just like Bart.
So they're...
should I get a tattoo that just says just like Bart?
You probably shouldn't.
I really want
to. Not yet. Like,
now.
talk to me in, a while. Okay, so they go in the character creation screen. So they only play games that have customization, character customization.
Yes.
But they will pretty much play any game that has character customization.
Yes.
The quality of the game is irrelevant. the quality of the character creation screen is critical.
Very relevant.
Yes, and so people ask them to play different things.
Yeah.
And a couple of these games that we're going to talk about, I've played. And I think it does make it better when you've played the game, because Fallout, which has a really good character creation screen.
You were Fallout.
I loved that, so I did. I played a lot of Fallout, so I knew what was going on. And then
have you played with the console commands on Fallout?
I have not. I was actually fascinated by some of those. And then what's the Dungeons and Dragons one? Skyrim. Thank you very much.
You don't remember Skyrim?
I don't remember the name. I played that. I've blocked that from my memory. I played that so much. Here's a little.
I am Cyber Garfield.
So there's one of I actually get to play a clip. I don't have a huge number of things on my soundboard today, but I've actually got a Garfield. They just go in, and I thought initially that's all it was.
Oh, no.
That it was trying to create some travesty of a human being.
Travesty.
Or maybe a human being. Not always a human being, but sometimes. Sometimes what they create is more like...
It's a human ransom note!
That's one of my favorite quotes from the whole thing. So it's a human ransom note, right? Like the old school Columbo episodes where you get a magazine or a newspaper and I'm going to mention Columbo in every one of these. I'm going to make you watch Columbo, in fact. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even think about that. I have to make you watch Columbo. I so love Columbo. One of the greatest pains of my life is I never got to meet Peter Falk. I really, if there's a list of people that I wish I could have met that I didn't get to meet, he's the top of the list, man. I love the guy. Anyway, so old school Columbo, ransom note, where you get newspapers and magazines and you cut out random letters and you glue them on the page to put a thing down. So the human ransom note is generally what they're trying to build, the most random thing. And they found character creators I didn't even know existed that allow you to create asymmetrical faces. That is crazy. You can have one eye is different than the other eye, totally a different place on the head. There's totally asymmetrical
faces are supposed to be so that you can have a slightly crooked nose, some people have, or an eye that's a little bit people generally have. It's not meant for what they did.
Well, those sliders go way, way beyond a little crooked
Every
nose.
slider goes way beyond. That's what sliders are meant for.
No, so I thought, hey, we log into the Fallout 4 character creator and we make the final Pam, and then thank you all. Bye.
No.
That's what I totally thought the show was, and that made sense because it's Monster Factory. You make a monster, but that's not even the best part of what they do. I thought that's what they did, but that is not what they do, and it is not the best part of what they do. The best part of what they do is then they go play the game as that character.
It's amazing.
And just as their goal was to try and break the character creator, not break it, but create it. Sometimes break it, but more make a character that was never intended to be made out of that character creator. They also want to break the game when you can break the game.
Yeah.
And so things like you said that have God mode, that have console cheats, Fallout did it definitely, and Skyrim did it. They go nutty. And it is so funny. And it is funny to me because they are entertaining themselves.
Yes.
Griffin can make Justin laugh like nobody's business,
right?
Yeah. And something that we wouldn't even think was super funny, but he knows what Taco thinks is funny.
What juice.
And so Taco will just laugh uncontrollably when he I even learned more when I was trying to pull some of the sound clips for the board, because I want to pull Justin saying something funny or I want to pull Ditto saying something funny, but I have to cut it before Taco starts laughing because Ditto, because he just laughs. And so even in my editing, I can see how much he laughed. So it's really funny. So they create these crazy characters and then they just drop them in the game and they go crazy.
Yeah.
So a couple of questions about with the big overarching stuff before we dig into a couple of things that we watched. So the Machinima, I asked you about this the other day. Do you consider this to be Machinima?
I don't.
Tell people what Machinima is in case somebody's listening and doesn't know.
Machinima is a genre of storytelling where people tell stories through using video games and video games characters, like Red vs. Blue.
Yeah, Red vs. Blue being the big one.
Yeah, the biggest one. Ruby was one for a while, but I think they actually got an animation engine recently. Mm-hmm. But telling stories through video games.
Yeah, so I think Ruby may have used a game engine.
Yes.
But it didn't use a game.
There was supposed to be a game, but I don't know if that ever actually came
Well, no,
out.
but I think that's... Oh, that you think they wrote the game engine and used it, and then they were going to release the game later.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Red vs. Blue was in Halo.
It was in Halo.
So they just played Halo
Yes.
and recorded it and did voiceovers for the characters. And like, that got so big that Microsoft added features to Halo for Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
Like being able to put your gun away was one of them, I think. And like there were a couple of different things that Microsoft actually, or Bungie, I guess at the time, actually put into the game to make Machinima work better.
Right.
But yeah, so you're telling these stories. It's not stop motion, right? But it's voiceover. But everything is acted out in the video game and screen captured in the video game, and then they just put voices on top of it. And it's actually remarkable, right? And I argue that at least some of what we watched was Machinima.
Pam is Machinima. The final Pam is absolutely Machinima.
Like, can you do Machinima in Second Life? Because the Second Life stuff felt pretty Machinima-y too.
Yeah, that was pretty Machinima-y.
Like running for mayor and doing that kind of stuff.
3-part series, the trilogies, I guess, were definitely Machinima, but the standalone episodes I wouldn't consider Machinima. Also, very good example of Machinima is Afmal. Because I really love Afmal, and you should go watch her videos.
Right.
Yeah.
What about like is Stacy?
Stacy does some Machinima.
Or is it more like Let's Play kind of stuff?
She does both. She does mostly Let's Play stuff.
All right. So I like Machinima. I love Red versus Blue.
Have you seen Red vs. Blue? I haven't yet.
Yeah. I love how well Red versus Blue is done. Probably more than I actually love Red versus Blue itself. I love Ruby.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really amazing stuff out there, and I think that a lot of this falls into Machinima, but it's certainly not serious Machinima. It's super funny, and this is actually this is an interesting thing too. In the overarching thing. So when you're looking at Second Life specifically, like I don't like prank shows and prank channels that prank randos, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're pranking your buddies, I got no problem with that. Like that's funny, and you sort of have this agreement that we're going to prank each other. Like Thomas Sanders, if you're doing that kind of stuff, I got no problem with any of that. But if you're out in public pranking randos, I hate that.
Yeah.
I find it like mommy will tell you like I hate inconveniencing other human beings like hugely. Like I'm really against it, and like almost anything I can do to go out of the way. I don't like putting people out in any way. So certainly pranking a stranger is not something I would normally do. So they kind of do that like in Second Life.
Right, but the thing.
But I really loved it. I was totally cool with it.
No, the thing
because it was virtual.
It was the thing with Second Life is you should not be that serious playing a game, Second Life.
But that's not your call. Like
I
that's the
know.
same thing as like pranking somebody. Oh, you shouldn't be that serious. I played a prank on you. Don't worry about it. Like just because,
but it's a video game.
No. The fact that it's in a virtual world, I guess, makes me less concerned about it.
Right.
And like oftentimes, like it looked like they were tweeting out some of the places they were going and what they were doing, and so people were kind of in on it. Were like coming around. Like sometimes they were dropping in places where people weren't expecting them, but sometimes they write dogs should vote. Like that was, I don't know, it was just funny. And maybe it's because it's a video game. It was funny. I do think dogs should vote.
Because and like just because it is a virtual space, but like the other people had control over it. And the thing about
they can mute you. They could
And the thing about this is, spoiler alert: when they're throwing the party and the renters got mad at them.
Yeah.
They Griffin compensated the renters. He paid them for their problem.
I couldn't get a good read on how serious all of that was.
No, he was like actually like they were really cool people and
right, but he like violated the terms of the rental and stuff like that. Like I couldn't get a good read on that. Anyway, that's why we're getting in the weeds. We're already getting in the weeds. Okay, let's talk about a couple episodes. Do you have anything else to say, like super high level?
Super high level, no. It's good. You should watch it.
It's funny. If you have a tolerance for profanity and
if you're not that one guy from
scatological humor in some cases,
if you're not that one guy from what is the name? You think the name of the guy from First Time?
No, winter of 68 or 62 or something like that. I think they changed it.
27?
They changed it every time. Winter. Yeah, I think it was winter.
It's like winter?
Yeah,
really?
winter. Like the season.
Oh, I thought it was winter the whole time.
Oh, I think it was winter.
Oh.
Yeah, like the winter of 82 kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's from
It feels like the first time, which is what inspired us to do this podcast.
Foul Zone in the Mooch. That's
right. So mad. Because I promise we're not insulting Steve Zaragoza.
And the even better part is that Foul Zone's not even on that podcast.
He's not.
But it's still Foul Zone in the Mooch. doing Feels Like the First Time, which is fantastic. We got to watch Lost. We haven't watched the Lost episode in a while. We've listened to the podcast and we haven't watched Lost. We got to get back to that. We just watched the Hurley Lost episode. It's so good. So good. Man, that's one of my favorites.
Are we going to do we have an episode of this podcast which we haven't talked about Lost on?
I don't know. We're going to talk about Columbo and Lost like every 2 weeks. We did, by the way, we were doing this once a week and we're scaling it back to every 2 weeks because it's a lot of work to get a podcast done. Especially because you have to spend several hours doing the prep work and you got to take notes and I got to get the soundboard put together. We got a lot of stuff to do. And so it's just, and we're doing a daily. So you guys know what's up. So we're going to do 2 weeks. So that's why there wasn't one last week. So you probably noticed we're already doing 2 weeks. But
yes, it was not a Christmas break.
Every 2 weeks.
We changed the scheduling.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. We are talking about Garfield.
Woo.
And it's Garfield written as an acronym with periods after each. Although they never tried to even come up with what the acronym would be, which would have been awesome to listen to them. All right, and what game are we playing?
We're playing Skyrim. And really quickly, since we're talking about acronyms, there's...
I am Cyber Garfield.
There's... what is the... Oh, never mind. I was gonna bring like a Vine up that I really liked, but now I can't think of it. It's the one kid from It, and he says like, what does something blank mean to you? And it's like something octopus grandpa, and I don't remember the actual word, but it's interesting. And if someone can find that, can you please link it to me?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's the kid that plays. I don't know. I haven't seen It, but I think it's Richie. I don't know.
All right, I think. So let's talk about Garfield. What are your thoughts on Garfield?
Garfield. I'm gonna say this a lot during this podcast now. By the way, valid. Garfield is valid, and it's a good cyber Garfield. It was one of the first times they started doing like horror in their Monster Factory, which they do a lot.
What horror? What do you mean by? I don't know.
Well,
I'm not
like
sure what that means.
the ending of it, like having Garfield deleting all of the pictures and taking over the internet, like it's a proto Pam.
So that's total Machinima, right?
Yeah.
So there was this whole side plot where
the side plot.
They decided that in the Skyrim world, currency was pictures of lasagna, like JPEGs of lasagna that Garfield was trying to consume. And so he was trying to destroy consume all of those lasagna JPEGs in the world. And so they had like images of the lasagna JPEGs going away and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Good. Yeah, I forgot about that even. That was pretty funny. Yeah. I've got maybe my favorite line from the show is, "It's debatable if cats have souls."
No! This is not the line I thought you were going to bring up. I thought you were going to bring up the other one. Whatever. No, cats have souls, fight me. I will specify that I am neither a cat person nor a dog person. Mm-hmm. I'm neither. Yeah, but
as a cat owner, I agree that it's debatable.
I am cats a cat owner. He's my cat, and I love him, and he has a soul. He's just really mad a lot of the time.
Look, I've even got a note here that says lasagna images as currency. So I was going to, that would have reminded me if I got there. Okay, cool. What was the quote you thought I was going to say?
In Dark Souls, you press randomize 2 times, then you get Squirtle.
Dark Souls, you press 3 buttons.
3 buttons.
And you're there. You got Squirtle.
Yeah, look at that. I got that one. Yeah. Awesome. I actually did grab that one.
Yes, that's a good one.
Dark Souls. Dark Souls was pretty good, too. I like
Dark Souls, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was also going to mention, I was going to mention that I have played, I play games because of Monster Factory, and out of this, I have played Spore, which I actually played before Monster Factory.
Yep.
I played some Fallout 4 before, and then I started playing Fallout 4 again because of Monster Factory. I've played Second Life for, I got really obsessed with it for, a week, and then I stopped playing it entirely. Okay. And then, I played Skyrim a lot, too.
Yeah,
and then Skyrim. I haven't played Black
We need to do that 3D Skyrim.
Yes.
The PlayStation VR Skyrim.
Jennifer made a video on it, and I'm refusing to watch it until I've actually played it.
Okay, we'll do some over Christmas. It's about to be a break, so we'll definitely do that. Okay, cool. I can't remember. This comes up a lot, so this is one of Taco's favorite things to say.
Taco or Justin?
Justin. Okay. Of course, it's not Taco. Juice. Across several of the things. Let me see if I caught this one good.
Not like this.
Right? So... And I think it was he was falling in, something happened. Because I know in Second Life they said it a lot when he was dropping off and stuff. But it came up a lot. Whenever he was about to die, you would always get Justin's.
Not like this.
And so I even started to grab a couple of clips of this. And this is a terrible story. But
oh dear.
What this reminded me of is when we lived in Texas, I was taking a nap on a futon with Bear. who was the dog that we had before Clyde, right?
Beautiful,
like phenomenal, like loved Pooh Bear. He was
a good boy.
He was definitely a good boy. And he went to Hawaii with us and made the trip and did all that kind of stuff. But he had his first seizure when we were taking a nap. So I woke up to him like convulsing and having a seizure and like totally freaking out. And so like I panicked like you do. And was kind of freaking out and didn't know what to do. And so I thought he was choking on his tongue, which people think people choke on their tongues when they're having that thing.
You don't.
And so I did have put my hand in his mouth to kind of pull his tongue out, and he bit through my hand because he was having a seizure. So he bit like all the way through my hand. But while he was having these convulsions, like I just knew he was dying. Like something had happened and he was dying right there. Like I was trying to hold him down and stuff. And I yelled, "Not like this."
Oh my God.
Like this is...
Why is this a story you think
of? This is not the way I want this to happen, right? And so while I have this horrible story that goes with the not like this. Now I have like a funny
not like this
connotation that goes along with it that helps ease the pain of not like this as an expression that existed in my brain because of that one moment that's frozen in time for me.
I love that one because it's very monotone.
Yeah, that was the best one that I heard. There were some where you kind of yelled and kind of did some different things, but just a little like
not like this,
just a super flat like So I think it's funny. The first time I heard it, I didn't think it was funny because of that story I just told. But over time, like I thought, it became like a funny mantra. And now when I hear that, I think of this instead of thinking of that. And that's a really cool thing.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And I'm pretty sure the first time I heard it was in Garfield. And I think this flat one came from Garfield.
Not like this.
But he was doing things like spawning 100 dragons and making giant horses that he could kind of ride under in weird ways, and like it was just like
horse.
He was breaking the game. So he was using God mode and cheat codes and was totally breaking the game.
When he flooded the jail with horses.
That's right. He wanted to see if he could put enough horses in the jail cell that it would break the door out to try and escape. And then one of the horses just like quantum appeared on the other side of the jail cell. Yeah, there was some quantum uncertainty that happened that the horse leapt to the other side of the bars. Hilarity ensued. That was a super funny one.
Speaking of quantum things, Quirks, those are quantum things. I only say quarks. I refuse to say it anywhere else.
No, they're quarks.
Quarks.
They are quarks.
But it's like quarks. I say it like quirks or quarks.
Maybe you say quirks when they're quarks.
No, I don't say quirks. I've never said quirks because I was talking to someone about it today and I was like, quarks? And they're like, that's not right, you pal. I was like, yes, it is. Fight me.
All right, what else you got about Garfield?
Garfield. I love just like the concept of Cyber Garfield. This is possibly like... We were told that Mabim Bam, which is another McElroy property.
Yep. My brother and me.
Yes. Spawned Garfield the Deals Warlock. But it also could have been this episode, and we don't know. I mean, it was a medieval Garfield. How many of those can there be?
I'm looking at my soundboard to see if I have anything else that I think comes from this, but I don't think so.
Garf. It's a good Garf.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's switch to the sequel to Dogs.
Woo!
All right, what game are we playing? The sequel to Dogs.
Spore,
we are playing Spore.
It's a not good video game.
This did not make me want to play Spore.
Oh, I have Spore if you want to play it.
I do not.
I have it.
In fact, I do not. It looked like a horrible game that crashed all the time.
It's not a good video game.
It shut his computer down, like in mid-recording.
It turned his Skype off.
It caused all kinds of problems. Now, that said, the sequel to Dogs was pretty funny, and it made me... One of the things that made me... I realized, like, Presley starts saying words, not like repetitively, but word becomes like a focus of her vocabulary, like valid is right now.
Valid.
You will hear her.
Valid.
She will say valid many times. But she started calling everybody pal. And then when I watched this, I got this.
Hey, John, why do you have wings now, my pal?
Or my pal, even my pal.
I call
my pal.
My dude
What's going on, my pal?
Also, okay. So I get a lot of my vocabulary from the McElroys. As you've probably noticed, if you watch my videos from like a year ago, I talk much more formally. And then there was this point where I got into McElroy stuff, and then my formal vocabulary just. Whoop.
I was pulling stuff down for your speech, like clips. In the John Green thing, you've said like, I'm homeschooled, and so I used to use textbooks to learn about like science and math and biology and such. I totally forgot about you saying and such. You used to say and such all the time.
And that's not correct. That's not
and
even
such.
Like, and such.
It was really
He's
cute
not
seeing
right,
little you say and such. All right, here we go.
Hey, John, why do you have wings now, my pal?
Yeah, so I say my pal. I say my dudes a lot.
Yep.
I say dog. I say there's a copy pasta that is like buddy, chum, pal, homie, home slice, bread slice, dog. And I say that a lot.
All right.
So, and a lot of that is because of the McElroys. And like also my speech pattern went from being very enthusiastic to just being this weird like flat Griffin thing. And that's Griffin's fault. I talk like him
I'll blame Griffin. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Backpack for
Could you edit it?
applesauce. Backpack where he keeps his applesauce. Jom's got the applesauce that you crave.
Everybody catches Juicy John wave.
I really want to make that my ringtone.
We can do that.
Yes. I have a lot of things I want to make my ringtone, but I don't know how.
All right, talk to us about Jom.
All right, actually, casual. Jom is their one of 3 spore creations that they have made.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm including the B movie. Anyway, one of 3 spore creations they made. It is the sequel to Dogs. It is Dogs, but better.
They also made a minion.
They also made they made a minion.
Banana.
That's my favorite. That's what the minions should all sound like in that movie.
Minions should sound like nothing in that movie. I am vehemently anti-minion.
Yeah, I like that. That was good enough. I grabbed it.
Banana.
Also, this is one of the first, at least it happened sometime in this trilogy, this is one of the ones where Griffin uses the word Sisyphean.
The first time he used it, because he uses it a lot.
He does. He says this is like a Sisyphean.
It's my Sisyphean task.
Yes. He says Sisyphean a lot.
Because he said, he did it in Fallout, because he was saying, like, when he broke the game one time and he opened the fridge, he couldn't drink the Nuke Cola, and so it was like my Sisyphean task to drink the Nuke Cola out of the fridge. Yeah. Okay.
And then if you don't know what Sisyphus is, it's a Greek myth, and if you don't know what the Greek myth is, then why are you watching my channel? I love Greek myths too much for
Yeah, so it was the guy that had to push the rock up the hill, and every time he got towards the top, it fell
down.
and he had to go back and try and push it back up. So
and I confuse his myth a lot with Tantalus.
Futile task.
They're different.
But who?
Tantalus.
Oh, Tantalus.
Because he's in this pool of like water, and he can't drink it. Like every time he goes to drink it, it lowers, and then there's fruit. Every time he goes to grab it, it goes up, and he's tempted to eat it, but he can't ever.
Yeah. Constantly.
Basically, the fields of pain don't sound like a great place to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, cool. So what do you got on Sequel to Dogs for Ja'am?
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because you are very much a dog person. You mentioned this a lot. Is Ja'am better than dogs?
Ja'am is not better than dogs.
Really?
Yeah. Even the backpack version. Although I like putting a backpack on a dog so he can carry stuff around, like making him a pack animal. You carry your applesauce, I suppose, if you need it.
Also, was your interpretation of backpack where he keeps his applesauce was like the things you get in school, like the cup of applesauce?
Of course it was. Yeah.
Because apparently, according to everyone else I've spoken to,
just loose applesauce? No, it couldn't be loose applesauce.
Filled with applesauce.
Like a terrible idea.
Well, also it's Ja'am.
And actually, the Ja'am thing, the backpack where he keeps his applesauce, was in Shrek.
It was in Shrek.
They were still doing Ja'am.
At the beginning of Shrek.
At the beginning of Shrek, before they switched and decided to make Shrek.
I'll look into and one of my favorite lines from this is, and also I've watched these videos like 5 times this week, where they're talking about the name Ja'am.
Yep.
And it's like, it sounds like a weird hippie thing.
Yeah.
Like, I will look into your mind and cleanse your Ja'am. And it's like, that's good.
This is the first time that I saw them do like the horror movie like freeze frames.
Yeah.
Where, like, freeze and go black and white with like red eyes and kind of zoom into it really slowly with the horror music and stuff. I thought that was a really nice touch. Like exactly like Doki Doki Literature Club. I see a theme developing. I thought that was pretty good. I wrote down Spore is so good you have to play it twice because I'm going to eat your data.
Yeah, that's what Spore is like.
All right, hold on. What is this from?
Are you ready to take a step into my imagination, Justin?
I'm pretty sure that's Spore, right? That's the creator of Spore.
Yeah.
Are you ready to take a step into my imagination, Justin?
Are you ready to see my delicious spores? Sometimes I wish one of those creatures would eat me, don't I? Also, that was That line, which I just said, sometimes I wish my little creatures would eat me. That was the first reference of vor on Monster Factory.
What's vor?
Please don't.
Okay, don't. All right, let's not even go there. All right, you ready?
Don't look it up, please.
All right. No, I won't. Oh, that's the one you've told me not to look that up several times. Okay, well then stop talking about it.
I had to. It's important. It's relevant because vor is mentioned a lot.
Okay, what about this one?
This is untenable.
Do you know what that's from?
No.
That's Justin. Like, that's a perfect Justin.
I keep
This is untenable.
Because that actually sounds a little like taco.
This is untenable.
There was this one thing, and I think it was in Garfield, where he's like doing this bit, and he slips into Taco's voice.
Oh, really?
Before pre-Taco
nice.
voice.
Yeah, that totally sounds like taco.
This is untenable.
Yes, because I do have this thing where I focus.
So you think taco is just excited Justin?
Yeah, it's just excited Justin.
Nice.
And I do, like, there's this thing that I focus on a lot, which is how people's voices change depending on different things.
Yeah.
So seeing, like, it's like this weird, like, slightly lower, slightly more Justin-y version of Taco. Mm-hmm. And, like, seeing that was like, whoa, that's so cool. That's the pre-Taco voice.
Okay, let's talk, let's see what else I got. So B-movies and Shrek. You want to talk about B-movie? Because I know you love B-movie.
I don't actually, okay, B-movie, okay, so the storyline Machinima thing behind the B-movie in, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Behind the B-movie in this series, not the B-movie starring Jerry Seinfeld, that came out in, like, came out 2000 something.
Whatever.
Anyway, the B-movie, the creature in the Monster Factory Spore series was, and Spore has done this to me before, where Spore will save your creature, but it won't save your game data, so you'll have to start all the way over, and then when you come back, the creature will be one of the randomly generated ones.
That was kind of nutty.
It was really scary.
That was a little scary, yeah. So the game crashed on him after he had created the B-movie creature, like Presley was saying, and then but the whole thing crashed, and he had to come back and maybe even started a new planet at that point.
Yeah.
And went in and did some evolution, and then he was traipsing through the forest, and the B-movie guys attacked him.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was so cool.
Nothing else survived that crash, but
Yes.
Spore created the B-movie guys, and they were like indestructible. They were.
Oh my God, they were.
They were a force to be reckoned with, for sure.
They finally defeated them, though. That was good. That was a very satisfying moment in video game history.
Okay, let's move on because
No, I need to do my B-movie.
Oh, I thought that was your B-movie. Okay, do your B-movie.
No, according to all known laws of aviation, there's no way for a bee to be able to fly.
False.
I know it's false. This is the bee movie we're talking about. Anyway, according to all known laws of aviation, there's no way for a bee to be able to fly. A bee, of course, flies anyway. Wait, I screwed up again. I forget one line in this thing. I can do it. I promise. I can do the whole intro to the bee movie.
All right, let's go.
According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way for a bee to be able to fly. Its wings are just too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think are impossible. And I can go for about 5 more lines, but I'm not going to keep making you do that.
Hey.
That is my bee movie.
Kudos.
I have a goal in life to have the entire bee movie script memorized.
Why the B-movie script?
Because it's, I don't know why the bee movie was chosen to become a meme out of all the movies, but it was.
Well, you know that on the teleprompter software that we use,
I have the B movie script.
it came with a B movie
no,
script.
No, it didn't. I put that
Did
there.
you put that there?
I put that
I
there.
thought it came with it. I thought that that's the weird test script that they put in the thing for you to play around with.
No, I put that there because I was at summer camp with my friends and we were chilling and I was like, I have a teleprompter app. Do you think we could do the B movie script? And they were like, yes. And so I went and I got it and then I put it on the teleprompter app. And then we went through about an hour and a half of B-movie script together.
On the
and
prompter.
that was very fun.
I totally thought that came with the software.
No,
I did that
wish.
before I spent any time with it.
I totally wish.
Okay, cool. So we got 2 big ones to get through. So
right.
let's do Second Life first.
All right.
Because there's a chunk of Second Life and Second Life Second Chances.
Yes. Okay. So starting with the Second Life episode. This is like the actual character creator in Second Life is pretty nice.
Yeah, and so this is the first one I think that had the asymmetrical face. Mm-hmm. Or body even, I think.
Oh my gosh,
definitely
that's an
face.
asymmetrical body too, yeah. So Second Life's character creators actually are pretty cool. I've played with them before to try and make an actual human being.
Yep.
And it was decent. It was really good. Anyway, to the boy mare. There's a lot there. There's a lot of good lines in this series.
The boy mare of Second Life.
The boar mare?
The boar mare. That would have been even better.
Lost. We're thought you were lost.
Well, I liked when he got stuck dancing. I thought it was super funny. And he couldn't figure out how to stop dancing, and he was just running around the whole universe dancing. And he's like, "How do you stop?" And he had to Google it, and apparently it's a common problem that people can't figure out how to stop dancing.
Yeah, that was very funny.
I liked the boot on his head, and you can attach stuff to just random parts of your body. Like
he
stopped. What did he get? Like some orange juice or something?
A
and he's like, "A lemonade. Let's attach it to my neck." And it just like had a glass of lemonade attached to his neck. I thought that was pretty funny.
And then there was that part. Oh wait, that's later. That's the Second Life, Second Chances. Never mind.
I've got.
Has Second Life ruled this whole time?
I don't know anything about Second Life except I watched one documentary. People found love on Second Life. And that's a direct quote from the episode. And that's an interesting concept to me.
But that's pretty funny because they're finally in it and like playing around and people have created the worlds. And
Has Second Life ruled this whole time?
oh my God, why didn't anybody tell me?
Was Second Life like a known thing?
Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody's known about it. Yeah, but everybody assumed that it was not something that they would want to play. Right? And so once they got in and started playing, they're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. I think this one's part of it too.
Game of the year.
I think that was Second Life.
I think that was about Second Life.
But I'm not positive.
This marks
Game of the year.
And this series marks the second mention of vor in...
The mention of vor or occurrence of vor?
This one is the first occurrence. There was a mention of it previously, but yes, they went to a furry vor playground, which was
did they
fun.
Really? Did they actually?
They didn't. The most of it got cut out, but there was a bit of them talking outside of it, and there was like all the attachments you could buy, like just chilling, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm glad they cut that part out. Okay, cool. Let's see what I got. So I loved how as they adjusted the height of the boy mayor of Second Life, his collar height didn't change. So he said that the collar is the measuring stick for the height of your character. And so it was like all clipping through the collar. I thought that was super funny.
Yes.
And then the hair clipped and like made it look like he had two heads, which was
it was very
super
fun.
Creepy, like creating those kind of things. And then just running around getting kicked out. Like, it was kind of cool. Like, I didn't know the concept of, like, you owning a plot of land.
Oh, no,
I don't know how you acquire a plot of land.
You have to buy one.
And then you can make it restricted or let people in or not let people in.
Yeah.
And watching them get kicked out of several places and just booted out. That was another occurrence of Not Like This, when they got booted out of a place and were just falling.
And they just fall into the ocean. It's great. Okay, so let's mention a couple of notable boots. So there was the most iconic of them all, which is, I think dogs should be able to vote.
Yeah. So the Machinima story in the Second Life arc is that he's trying to run for mayor of Second Life.
Yes.
And so he's just running around to people trying to convince them to vote for him, and nobody knows what he's talking about and what's going on.
And one of them is like,
he goes to one
American.
world, and it's like a dog world.
Yeah.
And so everybody's in dog form, and so he says,
I think dogs should be... No, he doesn't. That's in the political club. Wait, I don't remember this dog world.
No, they were like dogs. That's why he said that, because there were a bunch of people hanging out as dogs.
There was an alligator lady? Wait, I'm confused.
I don't think that counts.
How did I miss this?
Like, he didn't just randomly say, I think dogs should be able to vote. There was like the dog there he was talking to. He was talking to a dog guy.
Yeah, and then he said it later. Okay. Yeah.
And then he brought it back later.
Yes,
yeah, I think dogs should be able to
I thought you were talking about a specific instance, and I was like, alligator lady?
Yeah, I like the, how awesome must the rest of Second Life be if this place is abandoned? It's like an abandoned amusement park.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
Well, yeah, it was really fantastic. Like, how awesome must this other stuff be if nobody's here?
Answer, not very.
Yeah, well, we learned the answer to that question as the game went on. Okay, what else you got for Second Life?
I just love when they get booted and they just fall into the ground. So I'm gonna talk about during the second episode, there are the transformations of the boy.
The first episode of Second Chances?
The second episode of Second Chances.
Oh, the second episode of Second Chances. Like
yes.
The third episode of the Second Life arc. Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
And where the boy mayor goes through the transformations and he's at this club. And he just turns into this teen with a boot on his head.
And he's morphing, right?
I know,
it's the craziest morph effect. It's
Animorphs.
The game is pretty cool. The engine that does that work is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But then it was cool that Justin saw him one way and he saw himself another way. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then he said, "I wish you could see you the way I see you." And Griffin was like, "That's a nice sentiment."
That's a very nice sentiment.
That was a good part.
That was good.
And then at the end of the episode, he's just walking around from Justin's POV as this teen, and then just boy mare.
Yeah, but not even boy mare.
No,
like he came back to like this
weird
weird combination of
teen
girl and boy mare.
No, because he got older. He was like this adult.
Well, I know it was this weird like combination
weird
of characters. It was an interesting and it was frightening, in fact. Yes, but the whole arc was super funny, and they had, like Presley was talking about before, they had this huge party where Justin rented a plot of land from somebody. I don't know how you do that. And so he had rented this place where he could even build, and then he built a doghouse, right?
Yeah.
Because this all goes back to the dogs being able to vote. So I guess he was inviting the
he
dog
was secretly
people.
a dog the whole time.
And then you could go through this, and then there was this huge place up in the air.
A skybox.
The party
That's what they're
pad.
called. They're
Is it
called
a skybox?
skyboxes.
Okay,
Yep.
it was a skybox. And that was the party pad. And so they just sent out on Twitter that they were having this party, and so they just started crashing all these zones and like bringing in more
And
people.
and then we have to talk about Duran Duran.
They were running against Duran Duran in the election for mayor of
Also,
Second
I
Life.
wasn't aware that Duran Duran was a known band until I saw. Like, I didn't know
What?
Duran Duran was a thing.
No, they're definitely a thing. Apparently, they have their own world in Second Life.
Yeah, and then I was in the car with you, and we were driving somewhere, and then it says, by Duran Duran, and my brain just, Duran Duran!
They put on,
Second Life.
they went to a country bar, and they were all line dancing in the same
no
outfits.
Profanity, no exception.
And so they were, the people that were running that zone were kicking people out. And so it was just this huge like group of line dancing avatars in the same outfits. And they were just vanishing like one at a time.
It's almost scary.
Yeah, and Justin is like, how are they not getting us? Like of all of the people, we're the people that don't get booted out of the server, right? And so yeah, you were just watching these people vanish. And then at the big party they had, there was like a giant floating horse head that came and was hanging.
There's a T-Rex, there's a dragon.
There was some crazy stuff
There was
going
Bart
on at that party.
Bart was at the party.
The spinning unicorn.
Just like Bart.
Just
was
like
at
Bart.
The party.
Yeah, just like Bart was at that
Which means
party.
this was not the first instance of sliders, of asymmetrical sliders, because Bart had asymmetrical sliders first. And that was a reference to Bart's episode, yes. Oh, yes, Bart was very
But that was Second Life? Bart was
the Black Desert Online, or Desert Island, as you called it.
Oh, maybe I've got them in a weird order.
Yeah, I have them in a weird order.
I also have this.
Eat pants!
Is that a Simpsons reference? I don't
It is
understand.
totally a Simpsons reference, because Bart in The Simpsons, his catchphrase was "Eat my shorts."
Oh.
So just as a kid, he'd be like, "Hey, eat my shorts," right? And so you've got like Cyber Bart.
Eat pants!
He wasn't Cyber. He was just Bart.
Well, that's his kind of cyber.
He was just Bart.
Cybery voice.
Eat pants!
That's just
He
what
was
Bart sounds like.
he was just like Bart.
It was just like Bart.
But yeah, the eat pants.
Eat pants.
But yeah, it comes from eat my shorts, which I thought was super
I'm gonna
funny.
make Bart do a lewd gesture. That was great.
And
So
no, it
good.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. Was it Bart that he did
was
that?
Bart.
Right? Oh, in the Black Desert.
Yeah, and now I get so
That
confused
was
because
so funny. It was so funny.
I keep thinking you're talking about Bart from Dirk Gently.
Because it was so hard
confused.
for him to get that to work. Like he put in so much effort and
did.
time to
I'm
finally
so proud of you,
make-
Griffin.
make that happen. Because what was because Justin at first said, "Are you trying to blah?" And he goes, "No, I'm not.
We're more ambitious than this."
We're doing something else." It was really funny. I was trying to get. Oh, he's like, "Are you trying to get him to give the finger?" And he's like, "Oh no."
We're more ambitious than it.
That was super funny. All right,
It was.
I liked that.
I guess we're talking about Bart now. I mean,
Yeah, so let's go to, that was Black Desert?
yeah, that's Black Desert Online,
Yeah, so
or Desert Island.
yeah, all right, so I got Bart here. And so they were all like these super uber pretty boys when it first started, right? Like
They
your
were like-
default characters were all of these like
Can I say-
glistening. This was the glistening male models, right?
Yes.
They were all like well oiled up for some reason. And he's like, I thought when I started the game that maybe the oil factor would go down a little bit, but that appears to not be the case.
They can make it go up very much.
I've never heard of that game.
Can I? Oh, really? I heard about it when the character creator was out for free because the character creator was so good.
So they did the thing where they released the character creator. And
Yes,
then you
and
had
it
to
was
buy
for
the
free.
game. Yeah.
And then
Didn't Spore do that? Like the
Yeah,
creature
Spore did
creator
that.
was okay.
And then Spore did that. Anyway, so this is a game I really want to play. Like, I don't actually want to play the video game. I just want the character creator because I want to make my OCs in it because it seems really, really good. And
Like hours and hours and hours of character creation if you wanted to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And can I say, thank God that the prettiness factor was pretty much even for like the male and female avatars. They were both like beefed up pretty.
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
like beefed up revealing clothing pretty boy or beefed up revealing clothing pretty girl.
Yeah, you
and
forgot
that was
oily.
good. Oily. Yeah. Very oily, both of them. Why do people do that? They make everyone so shiny. Is that supposed to be attractive? It just looks like they dumped oil on you.
Yeah, like bodybuilding competitions and stuff, they oil up real good because it makes them, I don't know, maybe it shows the definition better. So
I don't know. It just makes them super shiny and scary.
No idea.
Anyway.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to
Rat Baby. Or are we still talking about Bart?
No, I think we're gonna jump to the final Pam.
We didn't talk about we should do the final Pam as the final thing.
Well, this is the final thing, isn't it?
No, we didn't talk about Rat Baby.
I don't know what's Rat Baby.
Rat Baby is Blade and Soul.
Oh, Blade and Soul. Okay, let's do Blade and Soul real quick, and then we got to get to Fallout because we're gonna bang up against our time. I think we're probably gonna spend a little time on Fallout, so let's get to Fallout.
All right, Rat Baby. Rat Baby was good. Rat Baby was valid. I want to cosplay as Rat Baby.
Oh yeah. That was like the little chibi-looking girl.
Very little. And then there was what's his name? Do you have any notes?
No.
The name of the guy that existed only so that they could resurrect him and then bring back Rat Baby?
Oh, right. Yeah, no,
that was really touching.
I must have watched that away from my laptop because I actually don't have any notes for Blade.
Oh, really?
But I did remember Rat Baby now, and I thought that was super fun.
I want to cosplay Rat Baby.
It was funny to be able to do...
that small.
Yeah, that small of a character with a character creation thing. I thought that was super cool.
It was good. Anyway.
Speaking of small, at the beginning of Fallout... using God mode in Fallout, they're able to make like God mode, where you fall through the atoms that hold the floor together, apparently. But then you can shrink down and find your what was this? Junk Hulk?
No, it was Trash. It was Trash Hogan.
Trash Hulk,
and then also Trash Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
They've called him both.
Trash Hulk,
and also just Hogan. At one point,
right? So Trash Hogan. Wait, so one of my favorite things. So Fallout, I think, was the best arc.
Yes,
and maybe it's because I played it, but also the final Pam was one of my favorite characters, and I thought that the gameplay and the God mode and the cheats and like everything in this was just super funny.
Have seen, I don't know these people, but I follow them on Tumblr, so I know them, that cosplay the final Pam, and it's really good.
But when she, at the beginning of the game, when they used the God mode to do like the kill all. And so, like, when they're all running for the bunkers and they do a kill-all, I do this. And, like, everybody, even the guy flying the helicopter dies, and so the helicopter crashes in her backyard, and it created...
How your backyard barbecue go? The Smiths. Pretty good, it doesn't seem.
And in the end, when they...
Next time you invite Pam.
When they made everybody immortal in the end, and the helicopter pilot somehow survived. Well, everybody died, or everyone survived. It's amazing. Oh, except the helicopter pilot. And then he's, like, standing in the corner like Blair Witch Project. Like, oh my god, how did he survive? That was super funny. That's jumping.
Just this once, everybody lives.
Just jumping to the end there. So yeah, that was super funny. All right, let me see if I've got some other than. Oh, I've got.
Have a lot.
I don't. I actually don't think I have a lot. I have.
Hello, metal husband.
Don't tell Trash Hulk
about their relationship.
So they're the voices are super funny, and
very good.
I love, and that's part of it. Goes back to Adventure Zone, right? His ability to be a good DM and sort of keep voices. For everyone.
The DM voices are very.
Hello, metal husband.
Do you have anything about my son?
I don't think I. No,
you have no sons?
No, I don't. I got notes about his can of peas, son.
It's a can of coffee grounds.
Oh, I didn't get the ones that. Well, he said can of peas.
Yes.
But then when he actually found a can, it was coffee grounds.
Yes.
But throwing the can up in the air and catching it, and then when the field of ghost boys.
My field of boys.
And I actually don't have that. I thought I had that, but I don't have that on the board right
really
now.
Sad, but yes.
What was? Oh no.
This is untenable.
All right, we did that one. And we think that came from somewhere. Let me see if I've got anything else that I'm super missing here. No, Game of the Year. Into My Imagination.
We didn't do that one.
Yeah, we did.
Are you ready to take a step into my imagination?
We totally did that one.
Yes.
I've got My Pal.
My Pal.
Not Like This. Human Ransom Note. Untenable. You get a Squirtle. And, Second Life Rules.
Metal Husband.
Yeah.
And Metal Husband.
Well, yeah, Metal Husband. Yeah, Metal Husband.
Anyway, yeah.
Hello, Metal Husband.
This one is very relatable because if you have ever spoken to me about a fictional character in my lifetime, I will have said they are my son, usually.
Yeah.
And that's just because a lot of fictional characters, or my daughter, but usually my son because males dominate the fictional character field. Anyway.
So one of the things I really loved about this too is when they were doing the character creation, if you've ever played Fallout, the way you pick whether you want to be a male or a female character is they're both standing in front of the bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
And the person standing in front of the mirror is the one you're adjusting, and the person standing behind them. And so while they were doing the final Pam, or like the first version of what they were trying to do, the husband's like standing behind her, watching in the mirror as she's putting her makeup on, let's say. And they're like, yeah, he should look way more horrified about what's happening here. And so they switched to him for just long enough to give him like this horrified look on his face, and then put him back in the back, like while they were messing with her face, and he's like standing behind her like, oh my God, what's happening?
We look as good as the day we first met in that lab.
So I thought that was super funny and super clever. I was very happy with that.
Yes, and I have this like really horrifying baby doll we got at a thrift shop. Macklemore. More back to Macklemore.
Yeah.
At the thrift shop, and I named it Pam because of this.
Was that where Pam came from?
That was where Pam came from.
Yeah, I also got to hear that they cut Justin a couple of times. Like during the character creation, Justin would say something like, "Oh, he looks just like," and then there'd be a cut. It wouldn't come back to it or anything. Like it would just be gone. And like I have no idea if he like said the name of one of their buddies that they didn't want to put out in the world or something. But yeah, it was
just
super
like
funny.
Bart.
Just like Bart. Like I thought that was funny.
Pan.
Yeah, I've got the accents, which is the metal husband.
Hello, metal husband.
Like that, and that carries through the whole thing.
So
it was super funny. And so they even do. Okay, here's a bunch of Fallout spoilers too. If you haven't played Fallout, don't watch the Monster Factory because you see a bunch of stuff. But like even when
turns out you were Fallout the whole time.
We were Fallout the whole time. When you're in the like cryogenic chamber and they wake you up midway through and they take your husband and child out of the other side and you're trapped and you're watching everything that's going on. She did the kill all again until those guys died, and then the husband stands up and picks up the kid and like, oh my God, but you're just trapped. You're like, get me out of here. Like they couldn't find a way out. And the thing, but yeah, I was like watching them try and break the game in those ways and like change the scale on everything. Like that was one of my favorite things was watching how they scaled things. Right?
And then I really
it was Rochi. Yeah, Rochi. Somehow I don't have Rochi on here.
Rochi. He's your favorite guy. Hey, did you know that roaches love to break dance?
He just carried this dead rad roach around for quite a bit of time, and that was super funny.
Rochi died.
And then Rochi despawned, not just died. He was dead the whole time. But at one point, after they got engaged, he despawned with a wedding ring.
I know.
Or the engagement ring. Was it a wedding ring? I think it said a wedding ring. Yeah.
And then at the very end, Rochi came back. It was Schrodinger's Rochi.
Right. More quantum uncertainty taking place in the world. That's a theme, another theme of this podcast.
Quantum uncertainty.
Yeah, it was super. It was one of my.
It's so good. Pam is so powerful.
Yeah, the final Pam is pretty powerful.
She is very powerful.
Yeah.
I am awaiting...
And they broke Fallout several times.
Very well.
And it was another instance of like how many things can we spawn in one place at one time, and then like what can we blow up and what can we not blow up, like trying to spawning all the mines into the places. But then the field of ghost suns.
It has a McDonald's play pit of boys.
Oh, I totally forgot about this too. When he realized that he could resurrect stuff, it became a mission to like really jack stuff up in the game, like blow stuff's heads off and legs off and stuff, and then see how he could resurrect it and how it would all come back together, and how juicy it would be when it came back resurrected. And some of them were pretty hardcore. And then sometimes, like if you're fighting several people, they kind of fall on top of each other, and then when he would do resurrect, it would resurrect both of them back as some new combined creature.
An amalgam.
That was very much
it's an Undertale reference, you fool.
That was very much like it reminded me of The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. Like there are a couple of scenes in that where these multiple there's a creature that can make itself look like something else, but it takes time. And so it's trying at one point to make itself look like several different things. And it's just this crushed together horror. And some of the things definitely look like that. I thought that was pretty funny. I loved it. And this was as much breaking the game as possible.
And then there was like a surprising lack of, there's just a Bethesda feature where if you resize something and then kill it, it like spaghettification
Yeah, they didn't
to
spaghettify
Mince's.
in this time, right?
They didn't spaghettify enough.
Yeah, but they did fly away in really super funny ways. And when he had like the giant dog meat running around attacking
It was
stuff,
so
like that was
good.
there were a
I
lot
love
of things
dog
in here
meat.
that
Dog meat is
I
really valid.
I definitely loved much about this.
Yes.
So once again, thank you
Thank you.
for introducing
the
me
McElroys.
to the McElroys in general and to Monster Factory in particular in this
Yes.
case, because
You're going to have a lot of McElroy content to watch in your future.
I really did. I thought it was just them sitting there creating a character and seeing
Whoa.
how jacked up a character they could make and then moving on and doing something else. But watching them play the game is by far the best part. And they're just funny. And part of the reason I think that they're funny and fun to listen to and watch, you don't really watch, you don't see them, I guess.
Yeah.
But listen to those guys is like they do not seem like they could possibly care less whether you're going along with what they're doing.
Oh, no.
Like they're entertaining each other.
Yeah.
And like their primary focus is just keeping each other happy and entertained and making each other laugh. And like it's a very, very genuine kind of thing.
And I would like to say that McElroy humor, along with my next assignment for you, which is John Mulaney humor, is the millennial humor.
Is it really?
That
Okay.
that is
it's awesome.
the millennial humor.
A millennial or Minecrafter?
They're not called Minecrafters, it's Gen Z! And both of them, I'm like a few years too young for millennial.
Yeah, you're a Minecrafter.
I am Gen Z, but I'm like kind of a little bit on the border.
Right.
My friend group has a few millennials and a few Gen Zers. But anyway, it's like that's what humor now is, and I'm very glad that you can like relate to it and think it's funny because that's good.
Oh no, it's hilarious.
It's very good.
It's throwback humor though, because it's very much stuff that.
Yeah. Oh, and then I was watching it, and this is something I totally forgot to
my
mention.
boyfriends would love this too.
Oh my god, we were having a conversation about this. Stop. Anyway, yeah, and then there's this thing, I was watching it, and they was like, and during Final Pam, when they were turning Metal Husband into a human, they said, it's a Lady Hawk situation.
Oh,
and I was
did
like,
they? Oh, I totally missed that. I'm sure I heard it and thought about it, but I forgot.
And
about
I didn't, like, obviously I watched this before, I knew about Lady Hawk, and I was like, oh my god, Lady Hawk! And then they mentioned a bunch of different movies we watched because of Ready Player One.
See,
I'm
that's
learning.
because they're referencing my stuff. That's not millennial stuff.
No,
that's
but
Gen X
their
stuff.
sense of humor is very millennial.
Right, but they're throwing Gen X references. They may
Yeah.
even be Gen Xers.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
But they have shaped millennial humor. Like they are Gen Xers, but they are the Gen Xers that are shaping the humor of the next generations, for good or for worse.
Do millennials come after Gen X?
Yay.
Or is there a Y?
I think. Oh yeah, there's a Gen Y. Wait, but no, millennials are Gen Y.
Millennials are Ys.
I think
and
so.
Minecrafters are Zs?
Yes.
Okay. And then it's going to go
there's
to
no more.
AA.
No, and then there's just no more. Humans just
So
humans are over.
I think it's going to do like Microsoft Excel and go to AA.
No,
after
I think
Z.
humans
Presley
are
thinks
gonna
it's
be
like the
over.
Mayan calendar, and once you get to Gen Z, there are no more generations.
Humans are over. It's going to be like a 17776 situation where they just are mortal.
When does
They don't
Gen Z end?
Not yet.
How long is a generation?
I think a generation is until like a majority of them start having their children. So until we start turning until we start getting in our 20s and 30s and producing child.
Yeah.
Producing child.
Yeah.
And
people are waiting
then
longer
it's
and
not a
longer. So I
generation.
wonder if a generation would be longer because people
Yeah, 'cause people live
have
longer.
their kids until later. Well, people are also just making like career decisions and things
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
live life decisions. Like we didn't have you until we were later in life than a lot of people have kids.
Yes, but like until we start, I guess that marked the end of the generation, and then humans switched over. They're
it's
gone.
like 40 years or
There's
something
no
like
more.
that. I think it's going to be like 40 years or something. We'll look and see. We'll do some research about what an official generation is, what that means.
Official generation.
Yeah, so, all right, my turn to assign homework.
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 weeks from now, we will be back here, and we will be talking about two of my favorite Christmas movies. And I'm going to talk about the movies we're not going to
You're
do
adjusting
first.
the camera like you're on The Office.
No, I'm thinking. This is my thoughtful, like up and to the left, whichever. Does that mean I'm lying or I'm thinking about, I'm reflecting?
Both.
It means nothing is what it means. So we're not going to do National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because we watch that every year. It's family tradition. It came from my family.
We also watch Rudolph every year.
We watch a lot of like the old
Elf practice.
like claymation Rudolph thing.
What? Yes. Why weren't you at Elf practice, Dad?
All right, so we watch National Lampoon, so that's a given. We watch that. I'm a pretty big fan of Elf. But
Elf was my favorite. Was like my favorite movie for a while when I was really little.
And so, but we have watched that, and you have seen that many times.
I don't remember a lot about Elf.
So to watch stuff that you haven't watched, we're gonna watch one classic, and one modern classic.
Yes.
And the classic we're gonna watch is It's a Wonderful Life,
which we were talking about with Doki Doki Literature Club.
That's exactly right. Like, because it is the sort of theme of what would the world be like if I had never been born, and being given the gift of being able to see your impact on the world.
Right.
Beautiful movie.
Is there any psycho anime girls trying to delete everyone?
There are not. I really, really, really love this movie, and I have always loved this movie, and I'm happy this time of year. I haven't seen it on, oddly enough, this year.
Right.
But when it's on, I like to watch it, even bits and pieces.
Like Scott Pilgrim?
It's pretty, like Scott Pilgrim. It's pretty long, and it's kind of a couple of different movies all rolled into one, but it's a perfect Christmas movie. Like, I really, really love it. And there's even a couple of things from it that... like me and a buddy of mine talked a long time about mixing. One of my boyfriends, we talked about that we were going to mix it into like a remix, like rave song, like an EDM kind of thing before you called it EDM. Well, like just a couple of clips, like taking clips and mixing them into a thing, right? And I'll tell you what those are after you watch them. So yeah, we're going to watch It's a Wonderful Life, and I'm going to be very happy to have seen It's a Wonderful Life. And then we're going to watch one of the most hotly debated Christmas movies. As to whether it's a Christmas movie or not, but clearly it is, so it shouldn't be hotly debated. It's
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
And I didn't think
we're gonna watch the first
movie.
We're gonna watch the first Die Hard. That's why he's in town.
Because
it's for the Christmas party.
Well, if I don't know anything
or he's
about
not
Die Hard.
He's not there for the Christmas party,
but
he's there for
Die
Christmas.
Hard.
Yeah, he's there for Christmas, and they're
having Christmas play a big
They're
part?
having a Christmas party
or
in
is it just
the
that
office.
There is a Christmas party?
Well, it takes place at Christmas.
Okay, fine. Christmas movie.
Therefore, it is a Christmas movie.
I don't know. I know actually nothing about Die Hard because I thought Die Hard and Fast and Furious were the same thing.
Oh, you could not possibly be more wrong. Again, it's one of the more quotable movies ever. Lots of quotes. You will start recognizing. It's like reading Hitchhiker's Guide or something like that, right? You're going to start seeing a bunch of quotes, and you're going to start getting a bunch of jokes that you would not have gotten before. Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks from now, we'll be back. We'll have notes and sound clips from It's a Wonderful Life and Die Hard, the first Die Hard. Don't worry about the rest of them. Die Harder. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Don't worry so much about the. Don't worry so much about the others. Although Samuel Jackson showed up in one of them, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, it's that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. But again, thank you so much for sharing Monster Factory. This is working out better than I had ever hoped, because I'm actually enjoying the stuff that you're having me do.
Oh, did you expect not to enjoy it?
Oh,
what did you expect me to give you?
I did not expect to enjoy everything that you assigned me. Yeah.
I knew because before you started playing DDLC, I could like feel the loathing that I made you play a dating sim. I was like, and it was like honestly very enjoyable.
I'm sure it was.
To see your innocence before thinking it's a dating sim.
Yeah, so you can keep assigning me McElroy stuff all you want.
I will.
Yeah.
I will keep making you watch all McElroy content because you are a coward and a fool who has not listened to any Mabim Bam yet.
I have not listened to any Mabim Bam. Okay, cool. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
What do we say?
All right. So, thank you guys so much for watching.
What?
Wait, we didn't do any of the. I'm doing my thingy.
Oh, you haven't answered? Okay, well, I think it's
God.
listening. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. We haven't done any housekeeping at all. Okay, do
Yes.
some housekeeping and get us out of here.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to recommend stuff for us to watch or listen to on the podcast, then make sure to hit us up over at ValidateMeCast on Twitter or ValidateMePodcast@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for watching and commenting on the videos. We have comments on the videos, but we didn't pull them up because we forgot to. So we'll read your comments next time. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, bear with us.